All right, good morning, everybody. We are going to jump right into it because there is a fire drill here. So you don't have a fire drill because you're at your house, but there's a fire drill here in the building, and we are expected to also leave the building. So we have to clear the building. So I will not be on here at 9 a.m. Okay, so at 9 a.m., you're going to hear the fire alarm. I'm going to end the meeting, and then you're going to work on your reading assignments, okay? So I just want to let you know, at 9 a.m., you're going to hear a loud alarm, and I'm going to disappear, all right? But that's planned, so I'm going to get you guys set up on your reading assignment, and you guys will rock it and be good to go, okay? All right. For our morning meeting today, I want to take some time to review the reason that we're virtual, right? Because we got to talk about this because it can be a little weird and it can be a little lonely sometimes. So I want to give us some time to have a discussion about how you're doing having school at home, okay, and being virtual with me. So in order to do that, we are going to watch a video that I will share with you right now. And this video is from Brain Pop, not Brain Pop Jr., but Brain Pop. And it is about going back to school in 2020 and all the different forms that that can look and different ways that we can make sure we stay mentally healthy, okay? So we'll have a discussion after this, and here's some of the things that I'd like to discuss. As you're watching, I want you to think if you feel the same as any of these characters. So these characters are going to talk about different emotions that they're experiencing, and I want you to be able to share if you've had the same emotions, okay? The second thing that I want you to share is a strategy that you've used that's helped you be successful on school virtually. So is there a certain way that you study? Is there a certain place that you sit? Is there a certain time that you do certain work? So what kind of strategies are you using to be successful, okay? So what emotions have felt the same as the characters in this video? And what are strategies that you use to stay mentally healthy, okay? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. It's about 5.5.
Hey everyone. We've heard from a lot of you with questions about returning to school this year. Dear Tim and Moby, I fell really far behind in my schoolwork last year.
I'm so worried and stressed about all the changes for this school year.
It was impossible staying motivated to do my schoolwork at home.
When we go back to school, how do I stay safe and healthy?
From Jeanette.
Send help, Camilla.
Thanks, Jaden.
Nervous, Alejandro.
And so on.
We hear you. All of you. This is a crazy time we're going through, and it's been rough on everyone. Plus, plans are constantly changing at different schools. It's a lot. No wonder you guys, along with every kid in America, are having a lot of feelings about it. So let's talk about ways to deal.
When schools went remote last spring, we recommended sticking to a routine. You know, keeping to regular sleep hours, eating well, exercising. But let's be real. Even those of us who hosted a distance learning movie on Brain Pop struggled to stay organized. Learning on your own is tough. If school is still virtual for you, structure can help you stay on top of your work. It'll also help you separate school time from the rest of your day so you're not working around the clock. You can start by dividing the day into short chunks. Write each of your major classes and assignments on a sticky note, then slot the items into each chunk. And don't forget lunch. Try to put stuff that requires major brain power early when you're rested. The afternoon is better for quieter things, like independent reading. Your work won't feel so overwhelming when you break it up.
One tool to make big tasks more manageable and to keep you motivated is SMART goals. They're a handy way to help you face challenges, like, say, returning to school this year. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So, big goal like I'll get amazing grades this semester. You might say, I'll study pre-algebra for 30 minutes every day this week to earn at least a B plus on Friday's quiz. You've got to work your brain to strengthen it, just like a muscle. Try to adopt a growth mindset, the belief that with practice and hard work, you can get better. Everyone can. You're not stuck being, say, a terrible procrastinator or a failure at distance learning. When you hear yourself thinking, I can't, or I don't, try adding the word yet. So, I don't understand variables becomes, I don't understand variables yet.
And for kids returning to classrooms, I don't know the new routine yet. The good news is schools have been working for months to figure out how to keep you safe. The plans won't be perfect. Remember, this is brand new for everybody, including the grown-ups in charge. But the priority will be keeping the whole school community as safe as possible. That'll mean cleaning and disinfecting regularly and providing hand sanitizer, keeping desks 6 feet apart and cutting class size, opening windows to improve airflow and holding some activities outside, and setting rules about wearing masks. To cut down on mingling, schedules might be staggered, or the cafeteria or gym may be closed. Yep, beyond school rules, we can do a lot to protect ourselves and others. Wash your hands frequently, scrubbing with soap for at least 20 seconds. And if you feel even a tiny bit sick, stay home, please. You also want to cut down on sharing supplies and food, contrary to what you learned in kindergarten.
But sharing is a good idea when it comes to another area, your feelings. Based on this mail, it's clear you guys are feeling pretty emotional lately. Stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, maybe a little excited, or up and down. Some of you are feeling lost for all the things you've missed out on this year. All of that's totally normal. Whatever you're feeling is okay. Try recording your thoughts in a journal or talking it out with a friend. If you need extra support, reach out to a school counselor or another trusted adult. It can also help to practice deep breathing or meditation. Our mindfulness movie has tips. And to practice gratitude, noticing and appreciating what you're grateful for. Because despite all the bad stuff, there are always good things in your life too. The more you focus on what's good, the more it'll become a habit. Like, I'm grateful so many of you have written in to tell us how you're doing.
I'm grateful distance learning means more time to play with my gerbils.
I'm grateful for this cool cat mask that Tim made me.
I'm grateful for big rate reductions on my renters, homeowners, and auto insurance. Huh?
All right. I'm going to come back in with you. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear my voice. I want to make sure I didn't mess up the sound. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we heard a lot of different emotions inside of this video. And if you want me to be honest, I've had a lot of different emotions too, because this is so new to me, right? I've never been a teacher where I haven't been able to give you a high five or give you a hug. So this is weird, right? But I've still loved it. And I'm grateful that I get to know your personalities and that we get to see each other's faces. And I feel like it's been pretty successful so far. But I'm really curious to know how you're feeling, okay? What are some different emotions that you've experienced and what emotions have felt the same as people in the video? So if you are on gallery view, I want you to go ahead and go to gallery view. Up at the top of your Zoom controls, there's a little box and it says speaker view. You can click on that and that'll be just me. Or if you click on what looks like the Google waffle with 9 squares right there, that will give you, one second, please. That will give you the opportunity to see everybody's face at once, okay? So why I want you to be on gallery view is because I want us to see how many people are feeling the same way that we're feeling. Because a lot of times that can help us to feel better and to know that it's normal, okay? So let's start with this one. How many of you have felt like going to school on a computer is a little weird? If you feel that way, cover up your camera. going to school on a computer is a little bit weird. Look at that. Look how many people are feeling that. Okay, so we're in some good company there. Okay, go ahead and take your thumbs off. How about this? How many people have felt nervous? Nervous about maybe your work, or nervous about meeting me on a camera, maybe nervous about getting the help that you need. Look at that. There's so many of us that have felt that way. So let's talk about that nervous one. If you want to explain your nervous feelings, if you'd like to explain that, go ahead and use the hand emoji so I can unmute you. If you want to explain what it means to feel nervous during all of this. Josiah, go ahead, sir. Oh, I think I just hit the wrong person to unmute. So here we go. Okay, Josiah, go ahead. What does it mean to feel nervous about this? How has that felt?
It felt a little bit shy.
Okay, so it makes you feel shy. What more?
But you feel scared a little.
Yeah, definitely scared a little. I felt that too. I told my husband last week before we started school, I said, I feel scared and I don't know why. And it was just because it was something new. So yeah, that's definitely one way that nervous can feel, is shy, like we don't want to talk, and scared. Sure, I hope, Josiah, as we've moved on, that you've started to feel better, because I definitely know that I've started to feel better. Awesome. Thanks, Josiah, for sharing. What more? Who else can share with us how nervous feels? How does nervous feel for you as we've been talking about the coming back to school? What does nervous feel like for you? Colton, how has nervous felt for you? You got it?
I don't know.
So when you said that you felt nervous, what did that mean? What's been going on in your head? How's your body been feeling?
Good.
Oh, well, good. So you've been feeling like this is a great experience and it's all been well? I'm glad to hear that, Colton. I know that you and I got to laugh a little bit yesterday, so that was super fun. Okay, so we've talked about nervous. One of the other emotions that they said they experienced inside of that video was feeling overwhelmed. And overwhelmed is a word when we feel like we have way too much to do and we can't even figure out where to start. So for me, when this first started, I felt overwhelmed because I had to learn how to Zoom, and I had to learn how to Seesaw, and I had to learn how to do Clever, and I had to learn how to bookmark. And there was so much to learn that I didn't know before. So I just felt like I don't even know where to start. Which one do I do first? I couldn't figure it out. So overwhelmed, feeling like you have way too much to do. If you felt like that so far, go ahead and cover your camera. You felt like there's so much to do. I can't even figure it out yet. Where do I start? Wow, look at that. A lot of us have felt that overwhelmed emotion. Okay, let's talk about that. Who can share what's made them feel overwhelmed? What made you feel like you had way too much going on? I'm looking for that hand emoji. Who's felt that way? Josh, go ahead, bud. Let me unmute you here. What made you feel overwhelmed?
I was just stretching.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have looked at the emoji. Terrence, what about you?
Getting on Zoom every minute.
Every minute. So you felt like this is a lot of time sitting in front of Zoom. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Genova, what about you, sis? What's made you feel a little bit overwhelmed?
Having to get on Zoom early in the morning.
So you kind of align with Terrence there. So thinking about, I've got to be on time, I've got to get logged in, my computer has to work.
Because it's 8 in the morning and normally I wake up at 11.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and so when Zoom starts, my mom wakes me up and I'm like, I just woke up. I really have to go now.
Yeah, so getting used to a new schedule, it sounds like, can be a little bit overwhelming. Definitely, that can feel like a lot. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So we have talked about some of those emotions that kind of feel a little bit on the negative side. Let's talk about some of the positive emotions. One of the things that they talked about in that video was feeling thankful. So looking for things that make you feel happy, that, you know what, I'm glad this is in my life. Use that little hand emoji if even in the midst of all this weirdness, you've been like, yeah, I like this part. This is good. I'm glad this is happening. How many of you have felt that? You felt thankful for something. All right, Josh, I see you use the emoji that time. Go ahead. What have you felt thankful for?
I felt thankful for having everyone as my classmates.
Awesome. Man, that feels good to hear, guys, doesn't it? We've had a pretty good class. We've been able to make some good friends in your breakout rooms. And yesterday, I had people telling me compliments about each other. Like, I know that Angel got that compliment yesterday about being a good partner. So yeah, having classmates to do this with, great. Josiah, what have you felt thankful for? What's been something positive and good in this?
Having good talk to people and not only being lonely.
Nice. So maybe in the past when we've been in quarantine and haven't had school, there's a little bit of loneliness, like, man, I'm all alone in this. But this has definitely helped us with that. We've been able to talk with people, we've been able to laugh with people, we've been able to share experiences. So that's awesome. Thank you, Josiah, for sharing that. I appreciate it. Awesome. So we know that this is a time that can have a lot of emotions, okay? And some of them are positive and some of them feel negative and some of them just kind of feel like, either way. But it's important that we recognize those emotions, and it's important that we take time to think about them and that we take time to kind of remind ourselves of what we know is true, right? And we know that we're working right now to keep ourselves safe. We know that we have classmates who are all doing this for the first time too, so we're all new. So even though it feels weird, there's other people we saw that this feels weird for them too. So we're not alone in this. It's really important to recognize that, okay? As we move on throughout the weeks, we're going to learn some different calming strategies so that when we start to have that overwhelmed feeling like there's so much to do, that we can kind of center ourselves and come back together. But I wanted to start today by letting you see that all these emotions are normal, right? A lot of people feel all of these different emotions as we saw here, okay? All right.